Hi guys, my name is Ochukwudi Newton and welcome to another episode of the BP Talks. Today I have an interesting guest with me on the show and his name is Olusegun Akiyemi. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
He is the head of White Spirit category Guinness Nigeria. I usually ask my guests a couple of questions here and it stems from the place of their background. How did you step into marketing? What was your first shot at marketing?
That's a question. So I used to work at the foundation as general manager almost 15 years ago now. And one particular day I had a friend, very interesting story. I had a friend ask me, we take a ride home together. So he joins me, couple home together, stay in Sendera. Still my friend to date. And he asked me, let us say a client in Ikoyi, one of the hotels in Ikoyi. I remember the name, but I'll just give you big hotels. And he had a meeting with the client that my office was on Van Island and that I should meet him up there or drove there together. Bottom line, we went to Big Baker Hotel together. We had a sit down and he was having his meeting with his client, by the restaurant. And I was stood by the bar and I was watching a TV just by the bar. So turned right. And an ad was playing on TV. And I now made a comment, oh shit, this ad is off strategy. And the person beside me just said, tell me more. And I was like, yeah, this product has also always been positioned for premium, premiumness and HN9 and, the socioeconomic class that was sort of on the high class and stuff. And then the situation, the story is not what you find in the TA that they've always positioned for. I didn't try to recruit a lower class. I can't remember specifically that it's 15 years, but I remember that I know the brands, know the brand somehow, and that this ad was off strategy and stuff. And I was like, okay. We went ahead and started debating, from outside, this is how I think the brand has communicated. And I think it's all consistent with their communication. Knowing fully well that had practiced as general manager and practiced marketing for NGO, marketing for NGO is a little different. But it was all about, getting value or stuff. So I had a background, knowingly or not knowingly, I don't know how to put it. So he just told me, interesting. That was like an hour or 30 minutes. I don't remember how long that conversation was. But it was over drinks, over beer, and all. And so he gave me a card and said I should come to his office the next day. And I got to the office the next day. Before the COB of that day, I got an employment letter.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It was March or was it? It was March. I made a month because I tend to salary down. So, that was how I got into experiential agency, marketing. So my first official job into marketing was experiential. And it taught me a lot about strategy. And starting from that level exposed me to a lot more. So how marketing most times is led by desk research, far away from consumers and stuff. It was the opposite of it. It was right down there with redistribution, with markets form, with events planning and experiential marketing to, how the brand touches the consumer directly, BTL levels at all stages, both from an HNI experiential to, down to retail and distribution and product penetration. So my baptism into marketing was already with the consumer, how the product or the service succinct with the consumer. And that's my story into marketing. And from there, it snowballed into a lot more roles. I went into digital agency after a few years. From there, went into interior, from interior, 360. And so that made me get experience on the all-around spread of marketing. And if somebody to leadership in every one of those positions.
That was interesting. That means you always, like the agency said, oh, yes, that's interesting. Please tell Thomas to come out, physicist. When
Yes, it's only boring.
they're going to talk one. Then this part just quit. I've been away so much. Do not can't see how in there. Fantastic. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you here, and please ready for us. Right? The first is let's talk about business goods. All right. And this starts from a place of innovation. Innovation often gets the spotlight in your experience. Which is more important? This is just to compare. Which is more important, innovation or execution of them? Funny you say that.
Which is more important? I don't think you can compare. I think they're apples and oranges. Why? Because one needs the other. For you to innovate, so let me start from definition.
Right.
Sometimes people think that innovation is creating something new. No. Innovation is actually pruning. Right? How else can I improve this thing? Like innovation is in processes, is in so I have one of the videos that I did that I said digitization and data transformation.
Right.
That's it. That's 3 layers of innovation. Because at the digital level, at digitization is converting your manual sheets to Excel sheets, right? Then digitization is converting Excel sheets to invoice apps that will help you do all of that recording like the CRM or like a Zoho, which on all of those applications or the ERPs with just like that things. And then transformation will really be having like a design where, marketing can see the invoice, finance can see the invoice. That's also innovation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a new product. Service innovation is also there. So innovation is really about keeping the consumer, right? Execution is really about getting to consumer. It's just about keeping the consumer because the innovation is for investment, right? Because once there's something fresh, you're also attracting new people. When you're executing, you're able to retain consumers, customers, depending on the sphere of the business that you started. So I won't compare both because I'm saying that only those that execute can innovate. Because you have to have a track record of execution to start thinking deeper. I'm asking a questions about how do I do this better?
Yeah.
That question of how do I do this better is where innovation is born. So you cannot now say that execute first. You have to execute first. You have to have sold the product. You have to have selected the products. You have to have auto feedback from consumers. That means you taking the product to consumers, you giving them the experience, you're open to feedback, you open up the feedback channel. And then actually, when I got to your I wish I did. I wish I didn't. I wish I could have done. Then you take that feedback in. But if there was no app in the first is that feedback will have on and they don't let you know that. And then we take the popular innovation in transport industry, which is Uber, or any leading app. I will say, it was a massive innovation. And currently, that's a strange innovation. Because in the ecosystem and the commodity where Uber was created, there was already a system of cabin and taxi that already charged a waiting base fee. So if you want to realize it, there's a waiting fee on the cab. So once the cab arrives, already go down $4.
Yeah.
Then you calculate distance and time. Right? You mention you count on that, that's what calculating distance and time. After your place $35. So what they really did in innovation was, how do I not call the company every time I want that cab? How do I do that from the convenience of my mobile device? And they mirrored it in. So they improved the process and bringing it to the consumer. That's also innovation. You can also look at hospitality services to say, so Mr. Shenhong had hosted us 6 times this year. Come next year, Does he need to get into the commerce? So how do I treat that for such smart? How do I also? There are several levels of innovation, but execution will always come first. Once we don't have the consistency of execution, it doesn't even manage.
Interesting.
Wow.
I think this is already a masterclass. Please we'll take this. Sure, we take some. Usually, okay. Wow. I want to talk about a couple of things now. I want to talk about real life situations here. From where you were at the vocation one day, I usually like to talk about transitions, which is where most people usually make to their mistakes. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah. When you make a mistake, time will not stop for you to correct the mistake, but it's left for you to determine how you're going to handle the mistake, because time is informed. Most people get us to a point in their career where it works in an organization for a long time, something, and then years for more, and then coincidentally an opportunity comes, and they are caught up in the web of, do I still remain here, or should I get better experience? Should I learn more? Should I know what the world holds for me out there? How did people, or how did you at some point, because you have to transit from different organizations to the other, how did you, or how would you handle transition phases?
Okay, so I don't start at a big spiritual, right?
And I like the fact that you guys kept quiet, like you said.
because for me, personal, I'll speak personal, I would generalize a framework or set of mindsets that guides this. Is number one, everybody needs a North Star. Like some Oscars and Maxwell that I listened to, so they said that I forgot to do them on because I'm there, but he said that his wife was the one that made him there. Because the day his wife told him that he's gonna be doing it, he leave it. He fought. And I'll tell you when this ties back. He fought so much. Like, how? I'm already doing my best. I'm not going to make $10,000. They're telling me over being how pressure is putting on me. But 10, what she did for him was break his mother's ceiling. What have money ceiling? As a powerful state and valid ceiling. So, and the product of our environment, all are exposed. So, if you have not at any early stage of anything, I'm not saying early stage as age, but early stage of anything, not exposed to the echelon of that space, you should not know what you're missing out. Wow. So, practical example. If I tell you that my first career was IT, as a Cisco practitioner, not IT as well, software. I even did software development as a consumer. But then I now preferred hardware to software, so I was a Cisco and CCN and CCN. Because I know that.
At the very elementary level.
Yeah, that was university level.
Wow.
So it was not about question stuff. I had my CCN in uni. By the time I was out between NYSC and all that, I started my CCNP.
Wow.
So, but guess what? I had someone that was, I've forgotten all the CCN, whatever now, that was a Cisco certified hacker, Cisco certified CCIE, of all those terms now. So when I saw Mr. Abiola every day, I literally had the physical evidence of excellence in that career path. I'm talking to me every day. But this is fun for me in terms of leadership. But what am I saying is that for every level that you are in, you have to have a North Star. You have to have that picture of what the best person in that career path looks like. If that does not look like who you want to be or what you want to become, then thirst to not be dead. So many of us are constantly walking and looking like this, or looking down, because we come from far north away or far south, or whatever. We're working in VI, and life is hard. Where I'm coming from, I'm sleeping on the bed sheet on the floor. And so because of what you're going through, you're unable to look up at eye level or look up this way to aspire at something. So you continue to get complacent with, at least it's been like this, at least. So it things like that, still not aspiring enough. You don't aspire enough. And the problem aspiring enough is exposure. So we cannot become what you wanted to expose to. I'll give you an example. As a child, I was exposed to a particular apartment my parents took me to. During the holiday, in primary school, secondary school, I remember I went there and I lived there for like a week. When I got back to my parents' house, one day, I took school to house. It was soon on physical washing. I was washing the kitchen and washing. I was like,
And it's possible that your parents are probably from there, or even when they went there, they probably see what you saw.
the kitchen shelf. And I said, it's on the Costa. Because I come to a place where the kitchen shelf had only 6 plates. It was the same. I'm telling less than 10 years old. Wow. They had where glasswares arranged. The cutlery was in the place. We have this in drawers too. But there was this thing I saw, like, why don't we have this? So I got home without asking for resources. I washed the wall. Thank God it was the oil paint from Sentinel, oil paint, then lost me in family and lost time. So washing it brightened the wall. I didn't ask for permission. I then told my dad that I needed to change the surface of the kitchen slab. I took out the gas from where it was. I removed the wood shelf. I got myself in trouble because my vision that changed. That's what I'm telling you. Then I realized that, then that this plate, 7 plates, all of those things, as cultural stuff, and moved everything into another room. And don't need them, don't use them in 3 months or 6 months. So don't need them in this. Then plastic bowls honestly, I took everything out, and then we don't need them, just making a mess. Let it breathe. And then it makes sense to me now as an adult that I'm restless by everything I've been exposed to. So to answer your question, I think that people need to get themselves exposed at all costs.
You can also say that exposure gives you a thirst to aspire.
Absolutely. So when you now say you're complacent and the job is because you've not picked an individual or a situation or a scenario, I need to be there. I have to do that quickly. Not desperately or quickly. What did they do to get to where they are?
Define it with health.
That's the question is, what do you need to get to where they are?
So someone will say,
so even recently, a few years back, my mentor now wasn't my mentor yet. At the time I let him speak, that he did something. And then it clicked on me that same year, I went to pay for the highest form of education I've ever paid for my life. Because he told me something. He said, we wanted to do LBS, wanted to do a master's at LBS. Then he stopped all the deals he used to pay, took a loan, I went to LBS. I fell back. And especially talking about early 2000s. So as a young executive, 5 years into the system, you had the audacity to take it go, shut down all your bills, because now the bank was 30% of your salary. And that affected a lot of things. But everybody down to align that this education will pay off a mission book in the lot time and took that audacity. Then he took that same mindset and said, at some point on his career, he wouldn't an Ivy League education. But He's still in Nigeria, never traveled. Decided, saved his money, took another loan, got himself an American visa, and went to Stanford to Kellogg's. And went for holiday, took a vacation visa, then took a 1 week program at Kellogg's, and cost him almost $25,000 or $10,000. Then, which was almost 20 months of the salary. So, when he became a marketing director, you think he said that Joe having that favor, not a favor.
No, it makes sense.
It makes sense. So, when he sent that, it struck me like, how much do you want to ask?
No, I want.
How much do you want? It's very dependent price. Because now I can see the results. So he became my roster. This N-word did it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? What are you doing? In 3 months' time, I paid for my first annual training. I mean, now we have online, so it's almost like the same. I just went online and did. Sorry, I spent for that language. This is really interesting. So without a North Star, we would all just fit in. And if anybody that is a ministry, you have to have one master. If you are a chef, you have to. How did Commonwealth do it? How did Master Chef do it? How did you have to have that personality? The more you probe at how they did it, you would find answers. Then that's where your assessment comes from.
I had only conversation with co-founder Business Us, and we had a very second yesterday, and it was around the ability to new progress.
Yeah.
And the conversation was amusing because in get directly said on someone talked to him, said, you know that the chances of dating loved it happens when you need to be person. And that's what the found essentially making to say that the more you meet new people, the more the chances of becoming quality increases. But his notion increases your chances of getting money. Right. And talking about exposure, this is so powerful because a lot of people haven't exposed. And one of the reasons is when finding that individual possibly support in marketing, any level, digital, whatever level you find yourself marketing, we are just doing the same space. Say on the next 5 years, no growth. All they know is all they've seen, right? And people need that sort of push. And sometimes I think if you have a conversation with your mentor, and like your mentor is talking to you, you realize that the same thing you're saying is the same thing you said the last few years. It shows that they're not going. You are redundant. I think that pushes the conversation about mentorship.
It's good that you got on the fact that to need it what we said, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know we're there because the people that I met in the last 6 years are really impacted my life. And somehow I'm someone that actually sit back and I think back to the what I really see guys. But still for the end of my life, actually still is a loss. One question I asked sometime after COVID was, I need to live it, but how do I do it? That question go now outside the board and move back. I answered that question for myself. Because I really met a lot of new people.
Why do you think the people that you already are like they're not sufficient? Why?
Because they're not pretending to just alone. And like there's what you say. He said, smart people, I would say it's something they will discuss gossips. Someone that will discuss ideas, someone will discuss weakness or something. So you will just realize that nothing is wrong with what they're saying, but nothing they're saying is helping you up on that. So, and it's not to those who are unstable or do something, out of the ordinary, out of character, or the fact that. So I have a very good friend. When he breaks through something, he calls me. Say, Dama, I don't cacao. So next thing we're going to do now is invest in this platform. He spent the last 6 months proving that platform will not fail. So when he calls me and says, Baba, I don't do know. Well, Wolf, I do not hesitate. vice versa. Or it's as simple as, oh, I want to change car. I think, and I would say, in the same this right, and we process that information together. I was like, why do you want to come now? It's some kind of current kind of students way. Once it's push you, once it's the ambition. Now that's extra 20 million you want to spend. We say, work it. Is it too mad? How will I go? I can go through that circle of conversation. He will say, he will either be excited that it's not going to like the Kylie or it's not going to like the Kylie. And I just rightly said that because we will have gone through the information provided for body. So if we move from emotional conversation to pure logic and it trust like a started process. And we find that it's about it. Exactly. So where did you say you're going to do in 5 years? Do you think that something not enough that you then if you accomplish this life? And then in 6 months, a month for the car will come out. And now the car won't be by violently elaborating anymore or be on our side because now you need to show up like this because the established is forefront. Right? So that back up and then it's turned down like, oh, by the way, Stalin shares that house and I'm going to do some amount of shares in it. So send me your own decision like to rent. So it's a very good chapter. So exactly. So I not have to be that grand. It's just the fact that you put yourself in a place where if you're not going to be exposed to new people, fact, it's a new relationship, but the person is constantly triggering you forward. Conversations are not by Miley Jones. It's not about, small things of life. You're just really aiming and aspiring. Right. Alone. And that's why I said about star. So he knows my North Star. And then when I feel out and burnt and you just say, I don't know, but that's what you say you want to do. But that's what it is. And some people is their spouse. And like I made a reference to the lady that said it was his wife that told him he was going to be a billionaire while he was struggling with trying to make $10,000 a month or there's a balance of there. And then look, if that would be people there at the foot, it's like that. What you tell me kind of pressure is that I just want you to make me die. So, yes. Well, he said, yes, I know. I always had to tell you too. What you're doing right now, at the capacity you're right now, in a few years, being consistent with this and that, I support you to become the wisdom that you're meant to be. So that removed the demonic happy. But why was he fighting it? Was because he had to provide we want this to and kind of see. So it means that whatever I can sell right now for 10,000 naira, if he tipped here and tipped there, somebody was going to pay $10,000 for it. Or he did not know how to get there. Or he did not believe me how to take to get there or takes to get there. So we cannot continue surround ourselves with mediocrity and be excited on the things that we're going to get to. Yeah, it was really insightful. Very interesting. I want to talk to you a little bit about something, and it has to do with crossroads, particularly where most people get this crossroad in their career and they talk about it's a point in their life and what they say. I come to a show very soon today, but internally I think the crisis. A crisis will actually be imposter syndrome, or crisis would actually be, I don't know what I'm doing here. Have you ever been that point? Oh yeah. Imposter syndrome is a very familiar thing. But then just understand like this. Speak up. So a friend of mine, one level always say, for every new level, there's a new devil. So for every time you max your comfort so your next level is to do the learner or the next level. So that's where, because that's your government side. So when you come and you're like get here, not how they say, there's even the pastor that said that, so the opinion said that here as well. Yes, I said the job, when you get the learner to do it or something, then I think Oprah said it was, and as I tried to like sense there, so yeah, I've sent it. But then go back home and go and learn how to do. Oh, that's so mean. Yeah, when you're down there, you damn me figuring out. I got a job one time, and I sent all that was saved room interview. I got the job. Oh, I can do this. I can build the envelope out the cinema. Oh, I will buffer the ceiling. You will not know. You think that Turkish hanging like that. And I will send all the Senate. When the job got to my I didn't even know the outcome of it. So imagine my first 1 week, 2 weeks. The CEN, the CBB, the UGG, the Giovanni FON. And then if when I finished the first meeting, I went downstairs to my car screen. Did you buy me? Oh, then that was when my race to the end started fall. Zero of them rule to on that fall. Wow. Every word I heard there, learned it, read on it. I would read at 3 a.m., show up at 5 o'clock. I was to say, why excluding them? That was how I excluded them because I had a short time of race. Yeah. It's hoping not to speak yet because you're first to when you so speak, when I speak. And when I speak, the person that interviewed me, last person that interviewed me is always in that room. Wow. And I said, check, what do you think? I cannot now say the BOS or the girl. I don't say when I go because you actually have to use the acronym. Yeah. So that's how that category nominates. Wow. So I was like, yes, so we have to show up with the LED and I'm trying not to say the acronym, so I don't give them away. Yeah. And so I had very strong testimony knowledge or book knowledge of these things. But then you're now on the field. Your conversation with this as well as oil and gas. So conversation is real life. Yeah. So you cannot be calling the terms like you don't know what it means. I'm not a manager in this space. So I learned every of those things truly. Well, at the time was my turn that the team got to realize. I said one certain thing what the group CEO said. Oh, you've received salary, right? So this is why after they paid me my first year, so I think it was the first 2 weeks, and I joined middle of the month, if I remember. And so they paid me a bit of salary at the month end. So resuming the first week of the month, I was having that the global leadership meeting. And then the group CEO then said, yes, the asking my chef, so what do you think? What do you think I will say? So there was no room for that. You go to Lions away everyone. Now they are hired you above some people that can like you and they wonder why you didn't get the position. And then now come and say it on every time. Can't say that. So imposter syndrome is your best friend. So it never sinks in or makes you fire. So I got into it, man. I watched videos. I learned what I needed to learn. And I came out blazing. Then after we talk, it's now the work. So that to be filled. Now I had to go to be all filled and I had to go show all the talk, identify and more. I was in a training processes and all like that. Wow. So yes, accepting imposter syndrome will always come, but there's also a sign that you are at the beginning of a new level. I have a new level. So you need to conquer that. It's just like games. You go to stage 1 and then you start fighting the small deals and as aid out to you meet the big bad guy. Yeah. And then stage 2. Yeah. You meet the small guy that is very easy again. It's not easy onto you. So for them, this is what it is. Second question was about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome and just went to where you don't want to be at this point. So again, that's the exhaustion. That's when you get to the end of that level. Because now your North Star is triggering you back to remind you that you exhausted your oil. Here. And where's the new oil? The new oil, like my mentor will say, it's either you're growing to the right or you're going up. So it's either you're growing left, they promote you, they give you new responsibilities to get you new experiences, or promote you to get a new higher role. I'll also give you the responsibilities. So you can grow flatter in a grow up. So you wonder how does that mean? You used to lead 2 people. Now you're going to go to the people. I told my brand managers that you need to marry the job you follow the next day one. I start doing that all the job you're doing now. That's the only way I'm going to get the next.
That sets you up in motion.
Exactly. Well, so if you're asking yourself questions, of course, you do not know what's next for you. You're not most of something the partner that's next for you.
This is a master class in Daniel. Wow. Final words to anybody who is who's at the entry level of marketing. This man is very valuable.
Marketing is a religion and not just a career. You can tell from football players and London areas know why Ronaldo rule the football space for about 10 years. Like every other person did not learn football.
Yeah.
It's probably something I was doing one or yourselves doing it. Right? Not that everybody can't, everybody's skilled. So marketing for me, from my own view perspective, it's a religion. You need to understand the nuances and not the nuances of it. And it doesn't come to you the day you start marketing. It comes as you continue to execute. It's continue to put yourself in the line and first for more and read more. And it will be very boring, no? Let's take it to Christianity. In fact, come to Christianity, how you say you did pray, but there's no answer. So you can change. Doing exam, studying, excellent, but then nobody's calling you for your new job, nobody's calling. You just continue. It does not mean that God is not answering. It does not mean that the path is not getting clearer. Right? So you can become so do not give up. Marketing has different form of expression. I said from my career, I started from the spiritual, go to digital, or into strategy, which is ATL, and ended up, coming all around and then doing the leadership and then making decisions, not just executing everyone. And that gave me a system to me, led us to everything like this of the market. So they will be on. So not that choose that path. I was advising a very long lady. I just finished like 18 in the spiritual, 10 in the say. So she wants to go to next year. So you want to go learn the spiritual. I just want to go through 8 years. Do my spiritual for like 2-3 years. And do fast. Like if your friends are saying, "No, I'm tired this weekend," go. Do the job. Sunday, do the job. One day you are off like get ahead. Build that to sickly. Right? Because eventually, the company you're dealing for is not the one company that will watch you for.
Absolutely.
So if you're an intern now and you're an executive and you're like, and I need my Friday, I need work-life balance. That work-life balance. It's something like work-life balance. The balance you get is when you die. That's the time you get work-life balance. If they call you for Friday, you show up. Saturday, as far as you can afford it, you show up. Sunday, if I don't wasting your time, you show up. Imagine that you go to work, you are on TikTok for 1 hour, you're on Instagram for that 1 hour, and you do the actual work for 2 hours. So count how many years it will get you to do something like that. When you really invested in the skill set and the know-how, it's 3 hours every day for 5 days a week. Just think about when you become the master of it. You are really being 12 years. So why not be asking yourself why you're not who you are, where you are? Yeah, so
absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Ishan. Wow, he's a master dog, guys. He's a lot to go back listening to this over and over again. Like I'll typically say, you thought you learned something. Or the wine bank you let by that lesson be to get money. See you on the next episode. Cheers.